Good evening, guys. My name is MARFANI, and today we are going to talk about the subject is Chinese lab the origin of COVID-19? Is Chinese lab the origin of COVID-19? All of you are quite familiar that America and other American allies have been pointing finger to China, that it was China who created this virus and unleashed the virus. Either virus escaped or China deliberately unleashed it, and this way the COVID-19 proliferated all over the world. But it is all hoax. There is no truth in it. Even World Health Organization, other organizations, and other medical communities, and everyone in the medical community has done all kinds of in-depth study and minutely studied every single accusation coming from America in general and Trump in particular, that China was behind that. China is not a rogue nation. China is not the nation of terrorists. China does not have any reason or incentives to do such a malicious thing. And if you look at it, if you are smart and a sensible person, and if you look at it, you're going to find out that the most damage was done to China. Chinese economy shrunk by 8.5%. China lost tens of thousands of lives. Why should China do something like that? But Trump has been on this issue from the beginning, from the scratch, that it was not exobiological, it was not astrobiological, but it was all about a Chinese lab in which a lab technician might have made some mistake or deliberately unleash this virus. Yes, it had happened in the past. Nations should do it, but nations are going to unleash this kind of virus to the enemy nation. They use this as a weapon, biological weapon. But here in the case of China, it is all hoax. It is all baseless accusation of Trump to China, because Trump has been suffering from the Chinese syndrome. So whenever he finds any kind of opportunity to give blame to China, to smear the Chinese name, reputation of the China, malign it, Trump doesn't let any opportunity go, but grab it and he use it frequently, and that is why he has been reiterating for last month or so. But conclusive outcome, result has not emerged, because Trump does not have any kind of proof, any kind of evidence, any kind of backup. He's just talking, it's all rhetoric, nothing but fluffy rhetorics. So GE Institute has carved out 5 different kinds of arguments to refute whatever has been going on. This controversy has been around, and I've been getting so many questions from my students too. And it is, as a teacher, it is my obligation to try to sort out the controversy in a way that my students can get proper kind of knowledge about this. So the 5 arguments that we are talking about are as under. Number 1, no, it is all about China bashing or China syndrome. Number 2, no, even world-class doctor Anthony Fauci has denied it as an allegation. No. Number 3, no. Even World Health Organization has refuted the accusation by Trump. Number 4, no. China is not a rogue nation, but a responsible nation will never ever resort to anything malicious like this. Number 5, even Five Aizen Nations have conclusively refuted the claim. Now, friends, we are going to go to the first point. That is, no, it is all about China bashing or China syndrome. Now, all of you understand that America is democracy, China is socialist nation, hence they both are loggerhead. On top of that, for the last 1 year, the trade war has been going on furiously between China and America. America wants China to succumb, China to capitulate, China to listen to Trump and follow. China is not budging, China is not giving any kind of importance to Trump. And Trump is pissed off. Trump doesn't like this. And that's why Trump has been bashing China in a very strongest terminology to give it a bad name or malign the Chinese reputation in the global community. That is the reason that Trump has been saying that it was Chinese hand behind originating this COVID-19 as a bioengineering product. Now, guys, we are going to move to second argument. He said no. Even world-class Dr. Anthony Fauci has denied it as an allegation. Dr. Fauci is a globally renowned virologist of White House itself. And when he was asked in the press conference what his thoughts were, and he bluntly and flatly denied that there is no such thing, there is no such evidence. Study after studies have been conducted and nothing has come out as a proof or evidence that China was behind originating this kind of virus, we call it COVID-19. So Dr. Fauci is an authority. Anthony Fauci is not a roly-poly doctor, but he is an authority. He is an American and he is White House virologist. So Trump must listen to him, but Trump refuses him as well. Now we are moving on to third argument, which is no. Even World Health Organization has refuted the accusation by Trump. That happened about 3 or 4 weeks ago when Trump started talking about all this thing and making all kinds of claims and allegation and all kinds of rhetorics. World Health Organization decided to conduct a study and find out what is the truth behind it, and they found not even a shred of evidence behind it, and the World Health Organization has categorically and unequivocally said that China was not behind this, and this COVID virus is either exobiological or astrobiological and not the product of any lab anywhere in the world. Now we are going to elaborate our fourth argument, which is no, China is not a rogue nation but a responsible entity. This is not a rogue nation, means it is not the home of all the terrorists and the government is comprised of terrorist elements and their only the objective or only the incentives and only the aim and the goal is to terrorize the world by any kind of weapon, including this biological weapon like corona. But China is well advanced psychologically, scientologically, economically, educationally, every which way. China is world-class, second slot nation. Such a nation cannot be even expected, anticipated, even charged, point our finger to, because China is not a rogue nation. Yes, rogue and rowdy nations comprised of all kinds of terrorist organizations can even think about it or dare to do something like that. But anticipating China to enter into this kind of malicious thing is totally humbug. Our next argument is even Five Aizen Nations have conclusively refuted. These Five Aizen Nations came into existence in 1941. They are all American allies. America, Canada, UK, New Zealand, and Australia. These are the five nations: US, UK, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. These are the five allied nations, and they have also said that no, whatever Trump said is not believable. It cannot be anticipated that China can go that far in its malicious activities. It cannot be believed. It cannot be given any kind of fulcrum, cannot be accepted as a truth. But it is all false and fake arguments. So guys, people believe whatever people believe. Albert Einstein has very prudently said, those people who will believe you, they will believe you without any kind of explanation. And those people who disbelieve you, they will never believe you, even if you give them explanation all your life. So, those nitwits who believe this kind of trash, this kind of garbage, because Trump is a politician, is not coming from the medical community. So he can say what politicians say, and the politicians always have one idiosyncrasy. And that idiosyncrasy is that when politicians are in job, and then politicians are in corner, and they cannot handle the situation, best thing they can do is to divert your attention from the issue to non-issue. They rake up the issue, fake issue they rake up, and they tell the people, look over here, I'm not to blame. Blame China, blame Russia, blame Venezuela, blame India, blame Pakistan, because they don't have any kind of answer to that. That is why Churchill has beautifully said, if you cannot convince people, then confuse them. And that is what Trump has been doing all along. He has been confusing Americans in particular and the world in general. So I thank you very much for listening. See you next time. And remember, this is a creation for the creative minds, those who are roly-poly. They cannot understand this, they cannot read this, they cannot grasp it, they cannot imbibe it. So, read an article a day, keep COVID away. Thank you very much. God bless you all.